No 30-second countdown. We coming in cold. What's going on, everybody? It is the last official Big at 11 kickoff show on a Saturday afternoon. Well, not even afternoon, Saturday morning. We got a few commenters in here already. Felix, what up? Marmar, what up? Appreciate you both. End of the football season, man. You know, we had to start the stream without Josh because we just couldn't have a full hour plus of him gloating. So we had to kick it off right with the good guy.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I knew he was doing something. I knew he was doing something like this.
What did you say?
I knew it was coming.
You couldn't stand a full hour of me gloating? Oh, you're going to have to deal with it today. You're going to have to deal with it today. That's right. Championship belt. Undisputed champion in here. That's right, Marmar. Where's Marmar at?
Not quite undisputed, but champion.
I'm sorry.
But champion.
That's right. You have to deal with a whole hour of this. Just saying.
Lord have mercy.
So now y'all stone cold.
Right, man. He came up with the.
I'm just saying the chances in here.
How long you been making that? How long you been setting that
here, y'all now?
I think y'all are confused about what undisputed means. I think y'all are confused about what undisputed means. Like, y'all are champs. I'm gonna give y'all that all day. Y'all won the championship.
I knocked out the thing from my fucking headphones. That's crazy. That's how hype I came in.
I see.
Yeah, when you win a championship, you got to get hype. That's all.
Hey, listen, it's all. I ain't kissing no ring either, Mr. Layton. You can get on with that. But again, undisputed champion.
Undisputed.
I hope that belt don't say undisputed.
That's not what that means. Undisputed means you didn't go challenge the entire season. Means no one that you lined up against was able to beat you. 15-0.
4 games in a row in the playoffs. Undisputed.
You know what? This is not our stream. We go ahead, get it off, Josh.
Now. With that being said, let me make sure I get some camera time to my championship belt. With that being said, this team has dealt with a lot of adversity, a ton of adversity. And I'll be the first to admit, when we lost to Michigan, I was out there with the infamous, clip of
do something else. Do something else. That's it. That's all we want. Do something else. Holy
And I said things about Ryan Day that I probably shouldn't have said at the time, but we were all mad. We were all upset. But I want to be the first one to say, Ryan Day, you have cemented yourself in Ohio State history with a national championship, baby. Couldn't be prouder. Could not be prouder. Now, there's one other clip I want to show that just dictates all of the hate that have come from certain people that are on this dais right now. That just, oh my God, it's so perfect. It's so perfect and encapsulates this moment so great. Let's go ahead and show that clip, can we? Boxing Maniac, you know the answer to this question.
You don't legitimately believe that, and I don't think any Ohio State fan believes that they're actually going to win it. I think they think if they don't win it, that they're going to burn down the city. I think
why don't I believe it?
There's a win it or else type of attitude. I don't think that there is a legitimate feeling after watching what y'all seen last weekend that y'all can run the table, that you can run the table and win a national championship. I don't believe that.
Why don't I believe it?
Because you don't.
We had a bad game.
Well, it's not your only bad game of the season. It's not your only loss of the season. So it's not like it's not like you can just boil it down to
a close game.
Josh, it's not like you could just boil it down to one game. Okay, we've seen these cracks.
That's what you're trying to do.
That you didn't lose. No, I'm not.
Sure. I'm not saying that we didn't have lows.
That you didn't lose, and then you finally lost one versus a sub.
That's assuming that nobody else is going to experience any kind of lows during the playoff season.
I think
when we've seen them all have lows.
I think if it's a playoff matchup, it's much more that the elite teams are going to play that way and the pretenders are going to be shown.
The elite teams are going to play that way and the pretenders are going to be shown.
Was I wrong, though?
You were not.
Like, was I wrong on anything?
Like,
no, I don't think there were a lot of Buckeye fans the week after the Michigan game that were like, oh, yeah, we about to go run this natty. Like, come on, man, let's keep it real. Sure, you said it. You put it on wax. Everybody heard you. Congratulations. You were one of the few. Stop with the cap that the entire nation was behind the team and Ryan Day the week after the Michigan game.
They weren't. Cut it out. They weren't.
Okay.
I just wanted the elite.
You called it, though. You called it from outside the gym. I will give you your credit.
I mean, that's all y'all had. That's all of y'all did that because if you're in the playoffs, you still have a chance. So you're like, why not? You know, we hey, anything can happen, you know. Let's go. You know, it wasn't really, oh, we winning the
natty. We about to run the tail. That energy didn't come around until after the Tennessee game. And for everyone else, except for Josh.
All right, that's all I wanted to. That's all.
And listen, that's cool. That's cool, man. I was wrong. I called it on Ohio State, and it didn't go the way that I said it was going to go. Are you done with your parade? About 7 minutes in. You need a full 10 minutes. You got anything else you need to say? Anybody else you need to pat on the back?
I mean, if I'm patting people on the back, Jack Sawyer, who I know you all hate, Emeka Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Day one more time, people, Quinshawn Judkins, Travion Henderson, Will Howard, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, JT Tuimalau, Cody Simon, the entire offensive line, especially Luke Montgomery. I think that's it.
I just hope Ryan Day took a plan B after that Texas game when he was, you know, jumped on with both legs and his arms, you know.
That's crazy.
You remember that?
I do.
As your coach.
It was.
Oh, right.
And I'm gonna ride with him. That's my coach.
Yeah.
So now that we've gotten that all off, you know what I mean? Congratulations once again to Ohio State. And I will also say, now we'll take this opportunity to piggyback on this championship to say that SEC is king narrative is dead.
Facts.
Dead. It's deader than dead. Y'all sent y'all's best. Y'all sent what y'all had, right? Y'all emptied the coffers, not just in the playoffs, but in the surrounding bowls. Y'all sent y'all's best for the Big Ten and came up flat in a lot of instances. I think did Iowa get one off on them too. Minnesota got one off on the SEC. Like we was all up and down their ass this bowl season.
Facts.
So not only did we get back-to-back national champions from rival schools, which I guess it became a rivalry with Alabama and Georgia when Kirby went over there, but not the storied history rivalry. Like it wasn't like Auburn, Alabama winning in back-to-back years. Nah, this was two perennial blue buds of the North taking the reins of college football and winning back-to-back. That's as big as a rebuke of SEC dominance, quote unquote, as anything. Not to mention how the draft has been going in years of late, right? Like you're seeing guys coming out of places like Illinois, coming out of places like Indiana. Michael Penix, right, the Heisman winner from 2 years ago, was at Indiana for 3 years. Okay, we don't have to keep adjusting our eyesight every time we see those three letters, the Southeastern Conference, and thinking that's a different brand of football. All right, well, you keep on believing that, and then when we pull you up north for one of them games late in November or December, we'll see how it goes.
Just let them know the Big Ten is different up here.
There's a slight bit of confidence in all of that. A slight bit. Didn't necessarily want to see it be Ohio State, but it is what it is.
Could have been worse. Could have been Oregon.
Sure.
I would have rather them.
Okay. All right. It's okay.
I mean, it was nice to see Landon get embarrassed, man. I can't lie. I did want to see him slip at some point this season just because of the arrogant way he goes about running his program.
It did feel good.
It felt good to see him take a loss. But in any case, let's talk about the playoffs as a whole. This current system that we're in right now with the 12 teams and how they're aligning the seeding in relation to the championship games. I kind of see this two ways. I see it as this maybe as an aberration because how often is a 2-loss team that's not a conference champion going to run off 4 games like that and win a national championship? This might just be one of them off years where a team was able to do it. On the other hand, when you look at the conference scheduling, which is the biggest issue for me in all of this, because the conferences are setting their teams up to get the most opportunities, not to drive competition.
Exactly.
How do we fix that? How does that get fixed from where we are now? You know, we've had the lowest rated championship we've had in years. Even some of those early games, those first round games, were not as highly viewed as they would like them to be. I believe a lot of them were under 20 million views. So,
sure.
What do we, from a product standpoint and also from a competition standpoint, what do you do with that?
Well, the championship game having the lowest or having lower viewership is kind of a result of MLK Day, the inauguration, all being around the same time. NFL playoffs being around that same time.
A little bit. The NFL playoffs definitely. I don't think the inauguration was in the middle of the day.
That was a Monday. Wasn't no NFL on.
That
was a Monday.
People aren't in the mindset of watching college football if the NFL playoffs have already started. Like that was
like deep into the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
But
the other thing is though, Martin Luther King Day, you had a day off. That should have set you up to be able to watch the game even more.
That's right.
For a lot of people, the inauguration, I guess, if you was still fuming from that or you were still, happy about it, wherever side you're on, is that going to stop you from watching football at 7:30? I don't,
But what I
think, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
But what I think they're trying to do, and I don't like it from a hating on Ohio State perspective, or is they're giving us all favorable schedules, more favorable schedules in these conferences, so you can try to have the top teams of the conference to actually make it. Then you're going to have the games you want to see, which the regular season is going to be interesting, and it's going to be interesting because Oregon doesn't play Ohio State, they don't play Michigan, we don't play Penn State,
Penn State, I don't think plays anybody other than Ohio State next year. It's like
exactly. So if you can find a way to get Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State into the playoff
every year,
that's those 4. I think you could do that if we got 4 of them with Indiana this year.
Yeah, but you've got to help it to happen with scheduling, with conference scheduling.
Sure.
See. The issue I'm having is that if that's the case, if that's what we're saying for the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and who did I miss? ACC, Big 10, SEC, and Big 12, that we want to maximize the amount of spots and have our best teams in. First of all, you can't go with 12, right? If you go with 12, there's too many spots open for at large. For people outside of your conferences, you can't have those spots in there as equal playoff spots, but then say, no, you Mountain West teams can't have them because you don't play anybody. Well, you're only playing the average teams in your conference so that you can get there. So that's a nullified point. The whole strength of schedule shit is just like a self-eating snake, because you sit up here and you're like, oh, well, Boise didn't deserve to be there. They played in the Mountain West. They won the Mountain West conference, right? Okay. Well, then why did Indiana deserve to be there?
Or Arizona State?
Why did Arizona State, if Arizona State didn't deserve to be there because of their schedule and their level of competition, why did Penn State deserve to be there? Penn State went an entire season with playing their 2 best games were Ohio State and maybe USC. Then they lose in the Big Ten championship game and get a home playoff game. So like none of this None of it makes sense, right? The way that we commonly know about how to be successful in college football were not the things that paid off this season. Playing a tough schedule, having big time matchups, winning said matchups, not losing to food, right? Not losing to mid majors or the teams in the doldrum of your conference. Those are things that should be killers, but they're not because you got 12 teams. So if those last 4 teams are undeserving, or if they're not as competitive as the ones in front in the 1 through 8, you're going to run into this problem where you're going to have inadequate matchups on the regular. So you usually get one of those when it was the 4 team, right? Somebody sneaks in, Cinderella might get there, there's Cincinnati, stuff like that, TCU, and then they get blown out. You may have had one of those in an entire playoff season. You've added an additional 8 spots. So now instead of one of those a season, you're going to get 4. People are going to attribute that to the overall value of the tournament, and they're going to start to tune out. You have to fix that. It cannot just be a mad scrum between the SEC and the Big Ten to see who can get as many teams in as they want. That's not a thing. You have to concede some of those spots. You can't just say, all right, well, we're going to get 4 teams every year. Yeah, maybe you get a guaranteed 2, and then those other 2 is up to chance. Who played the best games? Who won? Who has the best record? Right? That type of stuff. But I don't like this pageantry around it. Oh, well, yeah, they had an undefeated season, but they didn't play anybody. Oh, they went 10-3, but we believe that they had the hardest schedule in the country, so they should be in. Like Alabama even being in the conversation to be in the playoffs was embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the sport because if somebody can go out there and lose 3 games like Alabama did to the teams that they did and still be in the conversation for a playoff postseason play, how hard is it to get into postseason play?
That's a good question. So you're okay with it being a guaranteed 2 and then leaving the rest to chance. You don't think that that'll end up still allowing multiple Big Ten or big SEC teams?
We got the 4 Power 4 conferences, right? Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12. All those conference champions belong in the playoff. I believe. That's how I believe it should go. Now, after that, maybe
should they get automatic buys too, though?
See, I would almost prefer to have them play and get the home. I feel like the home game in the first round was more of an advantage than waiting to play in the Rose Bowl.
It was.
That's just a personal, because I would like, why wouldn't you get the opportunity to do both if you are the number 1 seed? If you're a priority seed in one of these brackets, why wouldn't you have the opportunity to get both? Why would the next runner-up in your conference get a home playoff game and you just get to sit down and wait for an entire month and play in the Rose Bowl, right? Like that's almost giving them sort of an advantage. They're continuing to play competitive games while you're watching and practicing. And you know they're not tackling either at this point in the year, so it's not really helping them being off that long.
Yeah, you're going to get rusty when you're off a month and a half almost or something.
Then you add to that, okay, so boom, we waited a month off. Let's say Oregon had won that game in the Rose Bowl. Then you play. Was it a week in between the next game, in between the Cotton Bowl and the Rose Bowl, or did they have a week off?
It's like a week and a half.
Yeah, they had some time off. So you're taking these intermediate breaks. Is it really necessary then for them to have that entire first round bye? We can get through this playoff schedule a lot faster, and now we're not running into the NFL season if we kind of eliminate that, I guess. Like, instead of you sitting and waiting for an entire month to play in the Rose Bowl, play in the first round, you get to draw the lowest seed. Then by the time we get done with that first round of games, we can have 6 games in the first round and just go ahead and deal with the aftermath after that.
Well, some people are saying they should maybe move the season up.
Yeah.
Start it earlier.
In a week earlier in August. So like August 20th or something around then or something. So it's not running so late.
But you know what? First of all,
new year.
We're doing all this still trying to make room for 12 teams. I think the obvious answer is that we probably should have been at 8. There aren't 12 teams.
14.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Because there aren't. First of all, there aren't 12 teams a year that could win a national championship. That's just unserious. This isn't college basketball. Cinderellas do not happen like that to the degree that they can run the table and win a national championship, right?
Yeah, this playoff pretty much proved that.
Ohio State was the 8th seed, and it took a program like Ohio State to get from the 8th seed all the way through the playoffs. You're expecting Liberty to come from the 12 to win the national championship. You're going to be waiting until you 80.
Liberty, Boise State, SMU.
Yeah, you're going to be waiting until you. I'll give Boise State a little bit more respect. I think they're a big dog in a small area, small kennel. Mm-hmm. But their competition around them, they're going to have to entice somebody, a bigger fish, to come out to them in the Midwest to compete for anybody to take them serious. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, the thing that I don't like about moving the schedule up is now all of your like preseason schedule gets adjusted too. We already got all this weird shit going on where we have 3 portal entry dates that you can get into, all of the sign-in days. Like that shit is just a lot going on. Now we would have to shift that entire schedule because we start the season earlier. You could put the damn belt down.
No, they want to see it. They want to see it.
Nobody wants to see that
Still, shit. Like this was the best investment of the year, boy.
Put that shit down.
Did you already have that ordered? Did you just know? Don't
worry about that. Championship belt on deck. Don't worry about that. Nuts. That is crazy.
But
maybe there's a reason we didn't stream until Saturday.
Oh, he's been waiting for it. You diabolical, boy.
I think optimally, man, this thing works best for maybe 8 teams. And
optimally,
yeah. The rest of it is just advertisement and guys filling their pockets, which maybe that doesn't change. Maybe you're one of the ones that say that it's never going backwards, but it will affect the product, right? What is college football's recourse if they end up like the NBA? See, the NBA has celebrities. So to a certain degree, there's always going to be people following them, even if it's not for the sport. College football is not celebrity necessarily. It's very regional. It's tribal. People love their rivalries. They love the fact that they can keep another team from succeeding in their goals later in the postseason because they beat them in the regular season. They love the upset. That is the type of shit that college football is built on. And if you chip away at that in lieu of, this postseason product that has diminishing returns at this point, you're going to be right where Adam Silver and the NBA at right now, trying to figure out how to bring back disaffected fans. And I don't think their path to doing that is going to be nearly as healthy as the NBA's.
I agree with that. I also agree with what Maniac said, where he said, unfortunately, the playoffs will expand before it's reduced, which will cause even more discrepancies. And cause the regular season Maniac,
you're going to be looking at a worse product than even what we're talking about now. Like the problems that we have now don't get fixed by adding more teams. So if they continue to go against the grain only for money, that will register with people. They don't even have to understand how the money breaks down to make that so, but it will subconsciously affect people. I believe that's what happened to the NBA. They started doing things that didn't necessarily promote the competition on the floor, and people recognize it. Yeah, even if they couldn't
right now,
it's garbage. Yeah, even if they couldn't describe why it is they didn't like the NBA anymore, it hit them. So I'm hoping somebody at these networks understands that. I'm hoping somebody in the NCAA. Well, there's no one in the NCAA, but you're hoping that maybe some of the ADs are forward thinkers and they're able to get with this. I was like, okay, well, what are we really pushing for if we're adding 2 more teams? We have problems with scheduling now, right? Okay, money, but eventually you're going to hit a peak, right? You only going to be able to draw water out of a stone for so long. People are going to find something else to watch.
It's true in theory, but college football is about money, and now the players are getting paid. We got to generate more money. We got to generate more for collectives and all this. We want more money. Now, they really need to take away the conference championships They really need to kind of do away with them and just go off of record and strength of schedule probably. So then you can move the playoffs probably up some also. But they
So you mean they
really,
should get rid of the conference championships, or like it shouldn't matter to the playoff committee?
I hate that.
I think you need to get rid of the actual championship.
Or make them more connected to the playoffs. Maybe the first round of the playoffs is the conference championships. Maybe that's the first. If you have to have 14 teams involved, then maybe the first round is the conference championships. Because if you eliminate conference championships, you are the NFL now. That's all you are is
That's
the
true.
NFL, in which that is not a product, that is not a format that lines up well with what works in college football. It's no longer a tribal matchup. Everything is about national. What is it? What does this mean for playoff implications? If you take that away, I don't even think rivalries survive that. What's the point? Why would we play hard versus rivals? Why would I play a key player mid-season, early season, late in season?
You're already seeing that.
Yeah, like they're already doing that. So now you're just creating more of an incentive for them to take games off in the regular season as opposed to the postseason. Don't. These are still kids, right? They still students. They still got other stuff to do. They have to be present for a certain part of their time in school. Like we can't keep elongating their schedule either. You know, I just there's a lot that comes with expanding further than what we're doing now, and I think we're at an inflection point where they could go overboard. They could go overboard and really tank this product. I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point. But if money is the only idea, if money is the only reason, then this is going to go bad quickly. It'll go bad quickly.
You're dealing with Disney, you're dealing with all these universities, they're all money hungry. You know, that's why they didn't want the players to get paid because we were keeping all this to ourselves. This is, the South Park episode where they were basically like, oh, they're slaves. No, we don't call them that, no. but so that's the thing. Me as a fan, like strictly on football as a fan, I like to watch these games all the way until February. I don't care. I'm gonna turn it on and I'm gonna watch, even whether it's good, bad, or whatever. I'm gonna have it on. But I do see what you're saying.
Hard though. You would die hard.
I'm a diehard. As as a whole, it's not good. The most of those games were trash. Like that most of them were, and it was a bad product if you're looking at it as a whole. The playoffs were not a success, except for Ohio State. It was a success over here, but everybody else and people consuming the product, it wasn't. And also with the travel for the fans, Ohio State fans, the real ones, they put out a grip. That's four games across the country.
Yeah.
Now
that's why some of them didn't go to the Tennessee game.
So now here's the thing. If you're Tennessee, if you're SMU, and you had the kind of contingent that you had at State College for that game, do you think that they're going to be able to convince those type of fan bases, those small school fan bases, to shell out that much cash during the holiday season just to go up or go across country to see their team get scraped in a non-competitive game again? Like, that's also something we got to take into account, right? Like, these results speak directly to the likelihood that people are going to engage in this practice again. If they've shelled out thousands of dollars to get here just to leave early, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not an experience that creates something that makes me want to do this again. And you're also talking about traveling expenses. I think for the teams is a thing too. It's like there's a lot of money flowing. Yes, there's a lot of money going in the hands of players. Coaches are being paid exorbitantly well. But there's also the fact of logistics, right? If we start talking about a diminishing product, if the product starts going back, we start making less money. Now those expenses of sending Oregon to Piscataway, or sending Maryland to Southern Cal, or sending Iowa to Oregon, or whatever, those cross-country trips, it's a little bit more expensive now. them PJs fill up at about 40,000 a piece every time.
Yeah.
You know, these things are getting more and more expensive. They're not getting cheaper. So they've created a system where they have to keep pace. If they slip up even a little bit, this whole thing goes to shit. Not to mention all these half-ass promises that they're giving to these players.
No.
You know, there's a potential for all of this to really, really fall apart, man. I'm kind of worried about it because it doesn't feel like there are many level-headed people in control of where this might end up. There's a lot of greedy hands involved.
Yeah, they don't care. Hey, this is around holiday season. You know, you trying to go to a game or something, or God forbid. Well, I guess it's a good thing for your team, but like Ohio State, all those games during the holiday season, you got to have some deep pockets for that stuff,
to
bro.
keep traveling with the team. And I'm putting on Christmas, I'm putting on New Year. Like, come on, man. End
And
of
the
the
tickets
year.
themselves are ridiculous prices.
So it's like, it's not.
You got to be rich for real to do that.
Yeah,
man.
this is not. You think about the type of people that buy college football tickets versus the type of people that buy NFL season tickets. Like, it's a completely different class of purchaser, right? I might go to all the Iowa Hawkeye games in Des Moines, Iowa, but season tickets for the Chicago Bears is absolutely out of the conversation for me.
Especially
Right?
the way they're playing.
I may go see every Ohio State game because I live in the short north, or I live in the far east, or I live somewhere close that I can get to the games and it's not a logistical problem to me. But if you're asking me to go buy season tickets to go see Joe Beasy down in Cincinnati, I don't think I can swing
That's not
that.
feasible.
Right? So you're not. I understand that a lot of this looks like the NFL, right? But they're not treating it like the NFL. They have free agency, which is the portal. Players are getting paid, but they are not. It's not a one-to-one. And the moment you start treating it like a one-to-one, one of those systems is going to show that it can't handle that.
Yeah. Plus, what makes it so much of a money hungry thing goes against what college football even stands for in the first place. College football is very much tribalism. It's me versus you. It's the rivalries that matter the most. And when you
pros don't care about
doing things,
they don't care about that type of thing. There are no more rivalries in professional sports. Everybody loves each other.
Yeah.
This
and
is
so
the
when you
last
go against
bastion
some of that
of competition where people hate their opponents on the other side. They hate their guts, hate the way that they walk, talk, and dress.
I mean, the only reason that the rivalry between us has so much relevancy now is just for trash talk at this point. Like, it doesn't even mean anything to the championship or the playoffs or who gets in anymore. It's just, I want to shit talk to Michigan, or they want to shit talk to me, and that's why it has relevancy now.
Good segue. Great segue. I'm glad you said that, because I've heard this sentiment passed around not just once, but a few times. Most notably from the Barstool guys that are Ohio State fans. Fat Boy and the other dude called it a scrimmage.
Tate and I can't Ev, I think.
Whatever. I call him Fat Boy. But they call it a scrimmage, right? And again, we talked about how weird this year was, where we're looking at a 4 versus 8 seed in the championship. But I mean, there's a possibility for that to happen again. Are you banking on the idea that this is a repeatable model? Like, you can lose to Michigan every year and go win a championship? Is it just a scrimmage? You don't really care about the results anymore. We've let that game go. I love my championship football with the Michigan loss score on it. Like, is that the energy we're giving off? I have to get that ball, bro.
Anyway, no. So first of all, I believe that Michigan is going to return to some sort of prominence next year. And so, no, I don't believe that we can just lose to them every year and make our way to, well, we might be able to still make the playoffs, but it's going to become a lot harder when both teams are actually good. I think this is the one instance where
I love this.
That was a little bit easier.
I love this. Tyler, never change. Never change. Actually, I want you to convince your other Buckeye friends to take up that attitude, man. Please. Spread that energy. Tell every Buckeye you see, hey, leave Ryan alone. Who cares about that Michigan game? Who gives a hoot about that Michigan game? We don't need it. You saw what we did in 2025. We can go win a natty without it. Who cares? I love it. I love it. Keep that energy. Keep it.
I said that I think you guys are going to return to prominence a little bit next year. You're not going to win next year.
Not you, Josh.
I've heard this too many times.
Josh. I'm fully confident in saying that I don't think Ryan Day is going to get one again while he's at Ohio State. Now that
we got the blueprint now.
Now that the blueprint for what?
We got the blueprint to beat you guys now.
Oh, I get it. You know what the blueprint is, Johnny? All right, so look, we're going to go out there at the end of November and play dead. And then we going to run the table, baby. That's how you do it. That's the plan. That's how you beat Michigan. You lose to them,
hardware.
You backdoor your way into the playoffs, and you run the table, baby.
That's
crazy. Michigan,
backdoor is crazy. But
anyway, and shout out to Quinshon Judkins for going pro yesterday. Good job.
Yeah, shout out to him. I wanted him to do that. He deserves it. Get your money.
Me too.
Well, I'm sure you also want.
I'm just waiting to see who he gonna take with him. What's the point of sticking around? We just won the championship. Let's get out of here.
Sonny is staying. Igbenogson is staying.
Iggy staying?
I kind of wanted Iggy to go.
Names. Neither one of those names are fear in my heart. Even though
I don't think Iggy is staying. Has he said
Sonny should, because Sonny's going to get better. But Iggy said he's staying.
He said he's staying.
Iggy said he's staying, and I kind of wanted him to.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's wild. They must have offered him a bag to stay.
He ain't getting that bag in the NFL. You were talking about Iggy?
Iggy.
Fam, who's signing up to get that?
You can teach him to stop holding.
Definitely could have just moved on to.
He probably tested his evaluation and had a come to Jesus moment, and had a come to Jesus. They was like, yeah, maybe fourth, fifth round, we can do something with you. If he was expecting to get out in the first 3 rounds, he need to come back, transfer, do something. Do something else.
God damn it.
Do something else.
Do something else. Do something else. That's it. That's all we want. Do something else.
Oh, he trying to perfect his technique.
The first round? Are y'all high? How many announcers had to announce this season on air, on national TV, that he was the most penalized cornerback in the nation?
That happened a lot, actually.
Dog,
quite a bit.
First round? There isn't
and
an
then
NFL
he did it more in the
scout
playoffs.
There isn't an NFL scout that doesn't know Igbenogsen's name, and it's not for good reasons. And it's not for good reasons. First round. Boy, hey, you know what? I'm glad y'all beat us out for him when he was in the portal. I'm glad.
More Penn State interceptions, much less defensive holding and pass interference calls. Please. If you're going to stay.
That's part of his technique.
I'm aware, unfortunately. But if you're going to somehow get first round pick, which I don't think is going to happen, then you're going to have to stop all that shit. I don't see first round happening. Jermaine Matthews.
I like the fact that y'all have given up on the rivalry. I love it.
I have not given up on the rivalry.
Well, there's so many of you that have, and I think it's great because number one, the championship already solidified that Ryan Day is going to be there for the foreseeable future, which is chef's kiss beautiful. I love it. The second thing that cements that he's going to be there is if you lighten the pressure on him around the Michigan game. See, he'll continue to go out there and beat up on the Wisconsins, the Iowas, the Michigan States, the Penn States, and the rest of the conference. Maybe he continues to have problems with Oregon. I don't know. But the one team that we know Ryan Day is incapable of nutting up to beat is up north. And I don't see, this is just my opinion, I don't foresee us having another season like we had this year in quite a while. It's going to be another while. And even when we had it, we were still able to beat y'all. So if y'all are conceding the pathway for Michigan's success and y'all saying, no, we'll just give that up and we'll find another way, we're going to work around your success to get where we need to go. Oh, I love that. I love that. make sure you clean up when you get off the floor, and we'll see you in November.
That's not happening. I don't know what Buckeye fans you're talking to, but that's not. We still want to beat you.
The ones that are happy that y'all won a national championship, so much so that the rivalry doesn't matter.
How many Buckeye fans do you know that to be?
I've seen plenty on social media.
That's social media.
My boy Tyler is representing in the chat for that faction of the fan base.
Fans. He speaks for 90% of the Buckeye fans.
Tyler said he's not giving up on the rivalry.
And your new perspective is it doesn't matter. Like, how are you not giving up on it if your new perspective is, oh, we can lose to you guys. It's okay. We won a natty. Okay.
All right. I will concede that there are probably Buckeye fans who are conceding the rivalry because there are so many Buckeye fans out there that there's bound to be some slow in the head ones, but the real ones are not conceding this rivalry. And just because I won this national championship or we won this national championship doesn't mean that we're giving up on the rivalry. Right? Next year we will be in Michigan to take what's rightfully ours.
Like, man, what kind of poverty program chalks up a loss and then is hoping and praying that they still have a path to get to the championship? Like, man, how the mighty have fallen.
I don't think we were hoping at that point. We knew we were still
to have so much motivation to kick our teeth in. It actually used to inspire fear. And now that same program is saying, you know what? Who cares that they kicked our teeth in 4 years in a row? It's natty. We only play for natties. That's what Homeboy said on Barstool. He said we play for one thing in this sport. Oh, really? Oh, really? Because see, when I heard all the Buckeye returning starters at Big Ten Media Days, right? They was like, no, we got 3 goals, baby. We got 3 goals. We want to win the Big Ten. We want to beat Michigan. We want to win the national championship. We got to win the Big Ten. We got to beat Michigan. We want to win a national championship. That's what I heard. Now, all of a sudden, the language is, well, if somehow, some way, God sees fit to allow us to win a championship, I'll be grateful.
2 things can be right at the same time. One, when we name those goals, beat the rival, win the Big Ten championship, win the national championship. It used to be that when you set those goals, they were supposed to lead into each other. Those things don't lead into each other anymore, and we have proof of that. That does not mean we don't care about beating Michigan.
I think the assumption that those 2 things don't line up with each other is
they don't line into each other.
I mean, we've seen Georgia not win the SEC and then win the championship.
Have we seen Georgia not beat Bama and win the national championship?
We've seen them do that in the
they lost the
championship.
They lost and then came back and beat them where?
In the championship.
So again, this assumption that like, okay, so what if we beat y'all in the regular season? Y'all backdoor your way into the playoffs, but now we're a top 4 seed. We won the title, and y'all got to play us again.
Josh.
What happened with Oregon?
So then, Negro, are we Oregon?
No, but we
like
can.
Oregon?
We can
like mistakes. Do we line up?
No,
like
but we
Oregon?
can clearly
like
lose to a team in the regular season and then beat them.
Fam, no. There's Oregon and then there's Michigan. Those things are not the same.
But that's not the hypothetical.
Having to line back up versus the best defensive line in football again. That is not lining up versus Dan Lanning, who's going to give you a million opportunities to take the game over again because he's trying to be tough. It's not the same thing. Those things are not
possible for you to lose a game in the regular season and then win it in the playoffs. That's my point.
It's possible for me to get powers overnight and start flying.
That's not the same thing.
Like if we're a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Let's talk about.
I'm giving you a hypothetical that actually happened in the regular season or in this season
to another program.
That doesn't. The point is, a team can lose
Michigan, right? You were able to do that to Oregon because y'all were within a sniff of beating them anyways. We held you to lower totals in passing yards and rushing yards, total offense, touchdowns than you had an entire season. So that's not exactly, oh, well, Will Howard made a boneheaded mistake and took a knee at the end of the game. That's not the same, right?
Sure.
How do you protect better? How do you take 2 first-round defensive tackles and not have them in your backfield all of a sudden? Like that just doesn't, you can't fix that.
Are you good? You're done? My point was, and I'm not talking about your specific Michigan team. I'm talking about in any hypothetical situation, it is possible for us to lose to you in the regular season and then win in the playoffs against you.
When we're also okay, again, let's take this scenario and say the season played out the way that it did. Only switch Michigan and Oregon's records. Let's just switch Michigan and Oregon's records. So now Michigan is the Big Ten champion, and they're sitting there in the Rose Bowl waiting for y'all. You think the Rose Bowl goes the way it went if that's Michigan? You think that's a possibility for it to have gone that way?
Yes. Why wouldn't it be a possibility?
I don't see how. Because again, with Oregon, it was already a tight matchup, right? Like the possibility of Ohio State coming back and blowing out Oregon is not that far out of they were up in the game that they were playing them in.
We only lost by 3 points to you.
Right. But
now, granted, we were supposed to win by more.
You were supposed to win by 21, and the amount of ineptitude on one side of the ball, when you threw it more than most of the times you threw it in the season, still one of the highest passes.
None of those targets to Jeremiah Smith.
Because we took it away. When other teams relegated to
when
playing
that happened in the playoffs,
we would have done the same thing. We would have done the same thing that Texas did to him.
Okay.
We would have did the same thing that Texas did to him.
And we beat Texas by multiple scores.
Now you know that's misleading. You know you didn't. That's misleading.
Okay, that was fine.
In actuality, it was a one-score game that got
take away the Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, thank you.
We still beat them.
And then he jumped on Ryan Day.
Barely. Oh my God.
He did that.
Right, but we beat them though. That's my point.
Let me
more than one way.
So you were arguing if it was possible. I'm saying yes, it's possible.
I don't see it. I don't see the pathway. I could already see the pathway for you beating Oregon based off of how you performed versus them on the road at their house. There isn't enough scheming to make Shabula and Montgomery be able to block Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. There is no amount of planning that's going to be able to take Josiah Stewart away from kicking Donovan Johnson's ass while he's playing out of position. Those things are going to continue to happen. So now if you're going to tell me that Will Howard can go out there and throw for 500 yards to make sure y'all win the game, then okay, cool. Then that's how you beat us. Sure.
I'm just conceding that it's possible.
Go.
It's possible.
Okay.
Saying that it's completely impossible that we could beat you a second time is kind of it's a thing, I guess. If you want to go that way.
What I do know is that going forward, Michigan's not going to look like that. And we were already able to beat you without what we're going to look like. So
I said next year you're going to do better.
This idea that because I think the more you lose, I would hope that this is actually going to happen next season, right? When one team beats you religiously one way, you should see other teams recreate the model, especially y'all national champions now. So everybody and their mom, the same way we saw religious 8, 9, 10-man boxes. Okay, y'all should see 2 high safeties every game next season. It should be so frustrating that y'all got to dink and dunk down the damn field that all I'm gonna do is sit back and laugh and say it's y'all turn, right? That's how it should be. So again, there's potential for more slip ups than just Michigan in that. There's potential that other teams adopt that formula and start building their rosters towards it, because why wouldn't you build your roster to beat the best team in your conference or best teams in your conference? I don't see where y'all lose to us, get in at the 8th seed, and then run through that set of 4 games to win a national champion again. That's just my opinion. I don't see another team doing that. I think that we're going to look back in that and see that was something special.
That's true, but I don't think we're going to be an 8 seed next year. I think we're going to beat Texas, and then the rest of the schedule up until Michigan is pretty easy.
I think y'all beating Texas.
Yeah,
Arch versus Julian Sand or Arch versus Tavian St. Clair.
Yeah, or Arch versus Lincoln Keenholz. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying
My God.
That butt naked defense y'all gonna have next year.
He's got athletic upside. Maybe take a look at him.
Okay.
At least let it be an open quarterback battle between
We're
all
gonna
three.
see it. We're gonna see if Caleb Downs really is a superhero next year.
Caleb Downs is one of the best open field
Oh,
tacklers I've
Caleb
seen.
Downs not going to the league?
No,
He
he
can't.
can't. He's a sophomore. He's
I
going
said
to be
we're
a
gonna
junior
see
next
if
year.
He was a true
he
freshman
really is
last
a
year?
superhero.
Damn. See, I be trying to little boy him because he tackle funny. He don't really tackle with much power, but he's just young. He hasn't matured all the way into his body. That's crazy that he's that young.
Saying the guy, I'm just
he's a
saying,
beast. You can't take that from
be
him.
open. Be open to Keaton Holtz if he's good. I like
Keaton
that athletic
Holtz,
upside.
hey, just like the year y'all thought Devin Brown and Kyle McCord were gonna be that.
Kyle McCord did win every game besides the Michigan game. So
Hey, I like Kyle McCord. You ain't got to hype up Kyle McCord to me. Y'all did Kyle McCord.
he won
dirty.
every game but the Michigan game. So
Sure did. You probably should.
Where did
remind
y'all
your
play?
fans
Where
about
did y'all
that.
play?
hey,
in the
Ryan Day is
playoffs?
Ryan Day is a quarterback whisperer, okay? Except with Kyle McCord.
Ooh, I got some interesting questions for you. So you
He
guys
didn't make it happen with Kyle McCord.
y'all got some stuff, or y'all got some people trying to poach your coordinators.
Yeah,
right?
Jim Knowles. I don't know where. I mean, hopefully he stays with the champs. But
And Knowles, and it wasn't Chip
Oklahoma.
Kelly rumored to go somewhere too. Or no? It's just Jim Knowles.
I didn't see any Chip Kelly rumors. I seen a lot of Jim Knowles rumors. I seen
Okay.
him maybe going to Oklahoma to become head coach. I've seen Notre Dame trying to poach him to be their DC since they lost Tom Allen. Yeah, I'm seeing some things about Jim Knowles, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, so where do y'all go after that? Do you take another big swing at a highly paid guy? Do you promote? Is there a guy to promote from within if you lose Knowles?
I've heard that if Knowles goes anywhere, James Laurinaitis would be the next guy up. But why isn't it Tim Walton? Why isn't it Walton?
Why
If we're
isn't
going
it
to bring
Tim
somebody up,
Walton?
yeah, why isn't it Walton?
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Why isn't it
Remind
OG
me
Walton?
again. Who does Walton's? Is he safeties or cornerbacks?
Cornerbacks, but
Okay,
for a little while he was both.
because he's a great recruiter and less great of a coach. That's why.
Mhm.
That's why it's not Tim Walton. Because he's a great personnel getter and he's not so great in on-field coaching.
But even if I went with that, Laurinaitis is new to being a linebacker coach.
Say what?
So Laurinaitis is completely new to being a linebacker coach. So why wouldn't you go with somebody
and
more?
The way that he improved
experienced?
Sonny Styles this year, Sonny Styles had 100 tackles. Sonny Styles went from missing a game-winning tackle in the Michigan game last year to getting 100 tackles in 6
That's
sacks.
fair, but I could
So
argue
James
that was a
Laurinaitis
result.
Is
I could
showing
argue-
his worth as an on-field coach and as a recruiter because y'all got some pretty good guys in this class. Your boy Walton only does one half of his job.
I could argue that Sonny Styles' improvement was a result of him switching from safety to linebacker.
His second year in being it.
Sure, that was his second. I was like, that was his second year playing it, and then also the improvement is the improvement, man. If you want me to give credit to guys going out there on the trail and recruiting guys, you got to give them credit when they affect the play on the field. He's talking to that guy. He's coaching them every day. He's watching film with them. He's the one giving him points to improve on. So I'm giving Laurinaitis the credit more than whoever was coaching him last. I guess Knowles, right?
He didn't steal
He's
Will
the
Howard.
quarterback stealer.
That he trained. Oh, I guess he got Quentin Ewers was technically a transfer, kind of, but he didn't.
No, he
never
stole.
played.
Quentin Ewers stole from us.
He recruited Stroud. He did recruit Stroud.
Yeah,
But then
and
Fields,
then he didn't steal Will Howard.
kind of. I mean, not steal, but because they didn't want him. But he went and shopped for a quarterback.
I guess. Anyway,
You don't like me down talking the Buckeyes in Columbus? Get used to
I
it.
said, get out of Ohio, Mark.
Get used to it, fam. Trying to run me out the
Get out of
city.
Ohio.
Yeah,
yeah,
good
bro,
luck.
go to Ann Arbor.
But I think Justin Fields.
He stole him from Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
uh-huh.
was a beast.
Oh my
boy.
god, that is not.
Can't believe y'all ain't win no ring with him. Can't believe it.
I agree with that sentiment. But anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, Sonny Styles. Oh, yeah, James Laurinaitis is fairly inexperienced as a coach to make him.
Our linebackers did
defensive.
play pretty well this year. Like
That's true.
they
But
played
Cody
pretty
Simon
solid.
was. I would argue that Cody Simon was always that guy. He just wasn't given the chance above Eichenberg and
Again, we
Chambers.
can only go off of what we seen. We seen Tommy Two Thumbs playing last year, right? So at some level, he wasn't better than him. It just is what it is. So if you're asking why I think Tim Walton isn't being elevated or talked about as your next defensive coordinator, it would be that that's not his strength. Your defensive coordinator is not going to be out on the road recruiting either. So you'd be taking one of your best recruiters off of the trail for him to be a coordinator.
I guess what I was saying is I would rather take the flag on somebody who's a little bit more experienced, more so than James Laurinaitis, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure LJ isn't going to become the coordinator. No. I don't even know if he still wants to do this job anymore.
Fam, I was about to say to keep him on the roster. To keep him on the roster. But yeah, you're right. It does even well, that would work out, right? Because what I just said, the coordinators don't recruit. And what have y'all been on LJ back about for the last 4 or 5 years? Is his recruiting, right? Take him off the trail, give him another job.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, no, I think we're good. I think we're going to obviously return to prominence next year. But along with that, again, like I've been saying, I think Michigan is going to Michigan can possibly become a playoff team. I mean, I think obviously your quarterback situation has already improved, and neither of them have even taken the field for Michigan yet, and it's already improved. And then I think your defense reloads. I think your running back room is probably going to be one of the best in the Big Ten. So I don't think you beat us, but I think you do really well. I think you do really well. I think you do really well this year.
Oh, wait. Y'all going to pull up to Ann Arbor next year, given everything you just said, improved offensive line, running back room, improved quarterback play.
I didn't say
same or better defense. You said?
You know what? Actually, yeah, your offensive line improves. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. And y'all gonna beat us next year with a first-time starter at quarterback.
Well, you also may potentially have a first-time starter at quarterback.
Well, sure, we got a couple options, but I'm saying though, like y'all gonna beat us with either Julian Saint or Tavian St. Clair or Lincoln Keenholtz.
By that time in the season, yes. By that time in the season where they've gotten the reps needed and the confidence needed because they're going to run through the rest of the schedule, yes.
Okay, that's how y'all saying with us. We'll never win in the shoe. I remember that saying.
I've been saying it for 4 years now.
I had a cousin. This was back when Urban Meyer was there, and he was like, "You think Jim Harbaugh gonna walk into the shoe and beat Urban Meyer?" Like he said it to me just like that. He like, "You think Jim Harbaugh is gonna walk into the shoe and beat Urban Meyer?" And I had to straighten up my face because, I mean, what am I say? No. I'm like, yes, I have confidence. I think that's where y'all are at right now in this rivalry. Like where you have to make the face.
So y'all gonna come
I'm not making that face to either one of y'all. I'm making that face to this comment.
Tate Martell 2.0. Oh, Tate was a runner. I don't think they have the same in terms of how it's going to play out. Maybe that's what he's saying. Maybe not in terms of style of play.
And shout out to my guy Garrison. Yes. I made that long live. He triggered it, but it was more Ohio State thing. He triggered it the night before on Voice of College Football, but it was for all of y'all. Y'all just can't.
Like y'all know y'all can just leave us out of this and ignore us, right?
I get it. I understand.
Like y'all know y'all can just ignore us. Like we don't have to be involved in this at all. There's no reason to compare your natty to ours. It's not comparable. It's 2 different playoff eras. One team lost, the other didn't. You know, there's no reason to compare. You was lying on my name. No, I ain't Garrison.
Hey, Garrison, I'm gonna go live tomorrow. You can come up and say your piece. I'm fair. I want to,
Garrison says, "Stop the cap."
Just leave us out of it, bro. Like celebrate. Who gives a shit what we think about
the
championship? Yeah. You don't have to bring us into this at all. If there's one team in the entire landscape of college football you should leave out of your championship discussion, it's Michigan.
I don't know what Garrison said, right?
Oh, no, I'm talking
all I know but as a Buckeye fan myself, I don't think I've even uttered a negative thing about Michigan since winning the championship. In fact, in this live alone, I've said, hey, you guys are probably going to do better next year. We're going to beat you, but you guys are probably going to be a better team, probably make the playoffs along with us next year. So, congrats on that. But, still going to have to beat the champs. Champs!
Man,
champs!
Long off season, boy.
It is going to be a long off season.
Finally,
didn't want to.
The championship has come back to Columbus.
So first you was Stone
So
Cold.
cold. Now we the Rock. You don't know who we want to be.
I am the entire WWE. It even has the WWE logo on it. I don't know how they got away with doing that, by the way. That's kind of crazy. But
Ooh, wow.
I want to do some way too early projections.
Sure.
I'm seeing Ohio State ranked 1. That's crazy to me. I'm sorry. It is. It's crazy.
There are some unknowns. There are some questions for sure, but I don't think that's the craziest thing in the world.
Number one, with the amount of stuff that y'all are losing, so you're losing your two starting running backs.
And
You're losing your starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You're losing your leading receiver in school history. You're losing 1, 2. It's 2 or maybe 3 players off the offensive line.
It's 3.
If
you include the injured players.
So 3 players on the offensive line. So your entire offense is pretty much decimated. Defensively,
Sure.
2 running backs, a quarterback, a wide receiver, and 3 offensive linemen. That's not decimated. You only got 11 players on offense.
Well, the main part of it
is what?
Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and Brandon Ennis at this
Who's
point.
going to? First of all, Carnell Tate might not be part of that.
Second of all,
Carnell Tate might not be part of that. Second
Carnell
of all,
Tate knows where home is.
Somebody has to throw them the ball, and the only options for them to get the ball are unproven. All of them. All options are unproven.
That's fair.
Your whole D line
decimated.
But the same optimism that Michigan has with their supposed quarterback, why can't we be afforded the same thing?
Because at least we have a proven college starter. Like, we got a guy who made it through an entire multiple college football seasons as a starter on the roster. Yeah, Mikey King. We have at least.
But you don't even know. At least according to the optimism, it's not about Mikey. It's about Bryce.
That's fan talk. That's fan talk.
Okay.
People are going to push that narrative until they see Bryce Underwood on the field, and that's Michigan fans or Ohio State fans, right? That you see a top player like that, you expect to see him play. The reality is that when he's ready to play, he's going to play. If that's week 1, it'll be week 1. If it's week 10, it's week 10. If it's next season, it'll be next season. What they went out and got Mikey King for was, okay, worst comes to worst. Maybe Bryce isn't as far along as we thought he was. Maybe we have an injury somewhere along the way. We know the floor of this room now is Mikey King, is a guy who started in college football and can do the things that Chip Lindsey wants him to do. Right? They played together. It is a baseline, right? So we're never going back down to Davis Warren. It's not happening. I'm not sure why he's coming back as a player and not a grad assistant. I would go ahead and get I would start grooming him to be the future, maybe offensive coordinator. But that's never going to reestablish itself as the basement. Mikey King's better than Davis Warren. So from that point up is what we're looking at. Like Mikey King, Jaden Davis, Bryce Underwood.
I agree with all of that.
Beneath that,
your floor has been raised above what your ceiling last year was.
Yeah, so that's what King was for. I don't think y'all. Now you can add somebody in the spring. You can add somebody in the spring and change that dynamic to make it a little bit more competitive. Have an elder statesman in the room. But as it looks right now, you got 3 young guys, 2 of which have never played college football.
Now, the running back room, obviously, like I said, probably going to be one of the best in the Big Ten. But outside of that, who does King throw to?
Who does Mikey King throw to?
No Colston Loveland, no.
Dog, have you seen us play? We
right.
only need
I told you the running back room was probably going to be one of the best, right? Between Justice and the way Jordan Marshall looked in the ReliaQuest Bowl, yeah, I will concede that. But
all right, so I do think the wide receiver play will be improved. First of all, from the guys that stayed, right? From your Kendrick Bells, your Freddie Moores, your Channing Goodwins, Samaj Morgan. I do expect those guys to play better. O'Leary's still on the roster. He had some big catches as well last year. But in terms of wide receivers, I expect the guys that stayed to give a little bit more than what they gave last year. Now, in terms of the additions, you did get a guy in Donovan McCulley who's a big target, which is something that you didn't have on the roster at all. A guy who's capable of being a possession wide receiver and also a target, a big body target down the field. So that's an addition that's going to blend into the Michigan running game that I expect to be dominant next year. Also, true freshman Andrew Marsh. Remember the name right now.
I remember the name from recruiting. I know that he's supposedly going to be good, but he's not going to start over Hogan. Hogan Hansen.
No. Andrew Marsh is a wide receiver.
Oh shit. Okay.
Wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah. And he might not even start right away, right? Because he's got older guys in front of him. But top 100 receiver out of Texas, fast guy. I think it's like a 10-400 meter. I like him a lot. And the reason why I like him is because he committed to Michigan well before Michigan was even smelling Bryce Underwood. Committed to him in like July. Okay, we still had Carter Smith was our quarterback in that class. And he committed to Michigan and stayed with Michigan, right? Forsake Texas, forsake Texas Tech, who's all of a sudden a NIL powerhouse, forsake Texas A&M, all those Texas schools. USC was on his back. Miami was on his back. He committed to Michigan early and stayed the entire cycle. He's good, and he wants to play here. On top of that, we have an opportunity for him to make plays, big plays for a fast wide receiver. We need it. So I could easily see him having the type of year that maybe like a Jaden Reed had with Michigan State a couple years ago. I could easily see him having the type of year that I'm trying to think of some more smaller wide receivers. He's like 6'1".
Jaden Reed was a dog.
A couple years ago, man, he was a monster. And he was a monster. You going to the parade on Sunday? I'll go take a shit on the block. Make sure the players walk through it.
There's not going to be a parade. It's an event at the spot, but no. Anyway,
at the shot scene.
Yeah.
Man,
I think it's either at the shot or I think it might actually be at the horseshoe.
Pull up like this.
Gross.
Hell.
But you know, my worry for y'all would be it wouldn't be so much the offense, which is still it's gonna take a step back, but would be the defense because
I don't know that your offense takes a step back. I think it's
no. I'm talking about y'all.
Oh, okay, I got you. I don't know that our offense is optimism.
It's not gonna be the same. At least we know that.
Sure,
it's because it doesn't have the caliber of players that it had. With Trey Judkins, these are this is what y'all are gonna realize.
Jeremiah Smith, though,
the same things that y'all gave us. You had a veteran team, juniors and seniors, and you're getting younger guys. So defensively, you're losing almost everybody. So yes, the backups played. I know Caleb's, I know Sonny, I know Iggy. Mm-hmm. That's only 3 players. It's 11 people on defense.
Right.
So those backups, they might have played, which y'all don't rotate a lot of reps. The caliber that we do, but y'all started to do it in the playoffs. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The problem is now those dudes, they're starters. They haven't been used to starting. There's a difference. We had to learn that this year to an extent, and our guys actually played a lot of reps, but it's different. Now you're the starter. Now your backup who doesn't have any reps. Now he's a backup and has to contribute. You don't know if this dude is garbage or not.
That's fair. I'll give you that. A lot of the guys who are going to come up are like Edric Houston are like really young. And so we don't know what they're going to look like when they have to play a full game or a game with some kind of rotation going along with it. But I like what those guys have looked like when they were in. Edric Houston, McDonald,
as a backup.
Caden Curry and,
Give me a few
and
snaps.
Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson played a lot of reps. Now, obviously, nowhere near as much as Jack and JT, but
that's
a
what I'm
lot.
saying. Look
And
how
I
many
think-
reps it took for Jack and JT to thrive.
But I think there's going to be a rotation with those
They
two
needed their whole
that
career.
include.
They needed every
Anyway.
bit of all 4 years plus some extra games in the postseason to get it
It's
done.
okay. They are both Ohio State legends and champions. Anyway, with that being said, I think they're going to have a rotation with CJ Hicks. If they do go ahead and put him
He's
at
still
edge,
on his team.
yes, they're going to bring him at edge and
Man,
he's going to dominate.
Cut it out. Man,
Just
it's
like
never
you saw
playing
with
here.
Just like you saw the improvement with Sonny Styles when he moved to linebacker, you're
Are
going
they
to see an
not in
improvement
the
out of
same
CJ Hicks.
class though? Like
They were
is
in the same
CJ
class.
Hicks not a senior yet?
He's going to be a senior. Yeah.
And you're talking
Yes,
about
like
Sonny
bringing
Styles.
him in the rotation at edge all of a sudden in his senior year. It's going to be a
Because that's what he can do.
It's a non
He can get in the backfield. He just can't. I don't think he can cover all that well. But
Yeah.
anyway, Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, monsters. Arvell Reese was, under Cody Simon, he was probably one of the best linebackers. And then, Jermaine Matthews, and I guess Igbinosin if he's coming back along.
Whew.
But we're going to have some rotations with Bryce West, who you guys wanted, Aaron Scott, who you guys wanted, and then
I'm
Sanchez,
looking forward
Devin
to
Sanchez.
seeing Aaron Scott out there. I can't wait to see Aaron Scott.
Aaron Scott got some rotation this year, and he looked pretty good. And he got injured in one of those games.
I
but
can't wait to see him out there, and it's just right on time because now we actually have some weapons to use. But I can't wait to see him out there. Bryce West kept it P. He kept it P. He wasn't trying to lead people along. He wasn't trying to be one of those guys who turns his recruitment into like a big ass joke.
Yeah, he immediately
Aaron
said,
Scott absolutely was. I can't wait to see him. Can't wait to see him on the field.
that's fair. And then let's see, safety, Caleb Downs. And then I'm thinking Jalen McClain, who didn't get that much rotation in because you had Lathan Ransom. But yeah, I think the guys have seen enough, especially like you said in the playoffs, to warrant some big time coming up, obviously. So we'll see what that defense looks like. I think it's going to be tough to play against that defense again.
The interesting thing to me is that even now, looking at it from the outside, looking in on next year's game, I don't believe the dynamics are going to change one bit, right? Even if you guys don't have Jim Knowles, it is still going to be the same type of setup, which is, I guess if y'all hadn't won the national championship, it would be more apparent. But like, I guess if you win a natty, you don't have to change the culture, right? You just stay where you're at. I guess that's what's so pleasing about it is that we didn't have to lose to y'all for y'all to win a natty. So everything can stay the same and y'all can just stay in your bliss. But Michigan, once again, going to have the most loaded defensive line in the country. Are they going to be the most talented defensive line like they were this year? Well, that'll be remain to be seen. We'll see how it plays out. But they will be the deepest. Secondary wise, they're returning a lot of guys. Rod Moore on his way back, baby. And not only just Rod Moore coming back, but I believe they have one of the most versatile secondary players in all of the Big Ten in Zeke Berry. There is a lot coming back from that.
Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Hillman
Hill's coming back. Hillman's coming back.
Curtis played a ton.
Mason Curtis. We haven't, man. There's so many names. Not to mention what you added in the portal already with the Metcalf brothers and all of that and along the defensive line. Just stacked. Troy Bowles, linebacker,
should be ready this year. He was hurt all last year, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Last year, we had a hole in the secondary, and we were wondering what our backup defensive line was going to look like. There were question marks. Guys, honest truth, and outside of injury, I don't see a hole on that defense. Not a single one. You got Ernest Hausman back. You got Jayshon Barham back. Linebacker set. Plus, you added Troy Bowles. You got Derek Moore, Josiah Stewart, Rayshawn Benny, and Trey Pierce in the middle as your starters. with the guy from Clemson, Damon Payne, Eno Etta in Wake in the back. You've got secondary Jair Hill, Zeke Berry. You've got Josiah Edmond coming up here. Shamari Earls will be involved. Safeties, Hillman, Moore, Berry, Curtis, Metcalf, Jaden Mangum. There's almost too many guys to play. Michigan is going to be super deep, and they're most likely going to return their defensive coordinator. Big Wink Martindale is coming back. Johnny, help me out real quick before I lose this on my mind. We was on your stream, and I was getting ran the riot at because I was telling people that we should just chill out on Wink and give him a little bit more time, and that half of that shit was on the players. And somebody laughed at me and told me, oh, you like Wink. Who was that? I want to call him out. I want to bring him to the floor. Who was it? You remember who that was?
Was it Garrison?
No, it wasn't Garrison. It wasn't Garrison. It was a Michigan fan. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody who calls in regularly. If you're watching the stream right now, you know it's you. Be brave. Tell the truth.
You know it's you.
tell the truth. They was like, oh, you must like Wink Martindale. And I'm like, well damn, we can't. This is week 5. Can't like him through week 5.
That's true. Y'all held on, because you know me. I was with Wink, then I wasn't with Wink, then I had to apologize. It don't bother me to be wrong. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, but we got him back. Continuity, second year in the system for a lot of these guys. I think that's gonna help Ernest Hausman a lot. He was really coming on in the second half. Eric Moore, Benny could play themselves into the first round picks. Absolutely. I think that Benny is right on the edge. He's probably like a second, third round pick right now. What do you say? When in doubt.
When in doubt. My bad, bro. My bad, bro. My bad, Garrison. I thought he was talking about you though, for real. I didn't know. Because you didn't like Wink either. So I thought he was, I don't know.
I forgot about TJ Guy. TJ Guy.
Yes. Like the edge, the defense looks loaded. And if Wink comes back, it's looking like, okay, let's just continue on what you built on the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can you get this offense, really not even just the offense, can you get this pass game and this offensive line to jail and give us something so the defense can remain honest and we can actually get a third and long?
Page is gone. Makari Page is gone. Ikawana is back. Ikawana's coming back. So again, that's another name on the defensive line. I didn't even think the name. Trey Pierce, Grayson Benny, Ikawana, Eno Etta, Damon Payne, and the dude from Clemson. Trey Williams. Dog. Dog. I didn't name a person who's not hovering around 300 pounds. It's tough sledding.
How you gonna block them, Josh? How you gonna block them?
Transfers and Luke Montgomery.
That belt ain't gonna.
The belt's pretty heavy.
Means that someone can dispute.
You're talking about 300 pounds.
As national champion, right? So if you lost a game, would you not count that as being able to dispute their championship? What if somehow I'm not gonna do it. We arguing semantics.
But besides, okay, let's take it past Michigan and Ohio State. We can sit on here all day going back and forth.
Yeah, no, both of us feel like we're obviously a little optimistic for that.
Sure.
I think Oregon takes a step back. No Dylan Gabriel, no Tess Johnson.
Dante Moore did struggle, but he was at UCLA also. So
that's true. Yeah, I think they take a little bit of a step back. I think maybe they still make the playoffs as a third team in the Big Ten, and then maybe Penn State finds their way in the playoffs as well.
Penn State gonna be
Penn State has a pretty
offensively. I'm not sure do y'all know what their defense looking like coming back?
They're losing a lot of players. They are losing a lot of players. So Warren's gone. Their leading wide receiver is gone.
That ain't saying much, but that's
that's their top 2 pass catchers, right? Singleton and Katron Allen are coming back, but when does that ever change the calculus?
That's wild that they came back.
They coming back again,
right?
With both of them.
I don't understand it unless one of them is going to split out and play wide receiver.
No, I think right.
Maybe he'll embrace Harbaugh ball for once.
I think Johnny said that they weren't playing Oregon. They are playing Oregon this year.
Do they play Oregon this year?
I was talking about y'all and us.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, they play Oregon, and I think that might be, besides us, their toughest game.
It's like all of us
they got an easy schedule.
Conference, like where you see them and you're like, okay, tough game, kind of.
So probably Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. Is that what everybody's thinking about?
Don't worry about that comment. Just relax.
Can you even be an Ohio State fan but play with Notre Dame in college football 25? Jeez!
I took an entire.
Whoa! I haven't seen that name in here ever.
To address this, I took an entire break during the championship run, but I was the head coach of Notre Dame before any of this happened. So you made a Marcus Freeman and you had the hair and the tight shirts and the difference between me and Marcus Freeman is that I won a championship with Notre Dame.
Okay.
Did you tell everybody that you were black in the news conference when they asked you about it, or did you kind of waffle around?
Oh yeah, no, I claim my blackness. Yes,
I claim my blackness.
What are some other college football stories, I guess, before we get out of here? We can kind of round this thing up.
I'm just saying. Anyway, Texas takes a loss to us, but I still think that they are probably one of the best teams in the SEC again. Arch Manning, that's promising, I think. They still have wide receiver talent. I think they do very well. I think they got defense reloading. I think outside of the Big Ten, they're probably one of the best teams. I don't know if Georgia does it.
Well, Georgia's going to be there as well. Georgia has everything that they need to be successful. They have great offensive line play. They have great defensive line play. The quarterback play will be good enough. It will be sufficient. And they just so happen to sign Jeremiah Branch. So Georgia's not going to have any problems competing. Now, what does that mean for them long-term in this elongated playoff? That's a little bit of a different question. Now, are they, we haven't seen them really recreate the Stetson Bennett arc in terms of quarterback play, right? They were able to lean on Stetson in big moments to win those championships, less so with Carson Beck and now Gunnar Stockton. So will they find that again? Will they have the ability to make big plays from the quarterback position when they need to and not get into so much of these rock fights like they're getting into now? So many more close games for Georgia than compared to their championship runs. So,
well, does their quarterback play actually improve with Gunnar Stockton, considering he only played a couple games?
So, maybe that's also a possibility.
Stetson Bennett was a dog. He was a clutch dog.
He was a gamer. Yep.
Yeah. So that makes a difference. I think we take for granted in football, because basketball, you see it. Like a dude, he done had 20 straight points by himself. So you see it, like, the dominance. But when a football player is a dog, because it's such a team sport, I think we kind of take it for granted for those certain types of players, like a Stetson Bennett. He was a dog, like a JJ McCarthy. I mean, Michigan fans, we don't take it for granted, but I don't think he gets the respect as nationally. Look at Josh.
I did, but then I was like, you know what?
Yeah, you're right. Whether you
27-1 as a starter.
He lost one game. Dudes like that are just the dogs, So that it factor, that clutch gene, I think we take it for granted. And I know Georgia misses Stetson.
Oh, they man,
Stetson on that team last year.
If they could take a walk on, his name was Stequavius Bennett. And put him on the roster, they would have done it during the playoffs.
No, for sure. But outside of that, Big 12, ACC, Miami loses Cam Ward, so I don't think they're going to do as good. Clemson.
I want Miami to implode this season. I want good players to stop going there to ruin their careers.
I think that was a flash in the pan.
Good players go to Miami to have their careers ruined. Has anybody heard anything from Aaron Scott? I swear to God, I've heard
Aaron Scott? Justin Scott.
Justin Scott. Sorry, not Aaron Scott. Justin Scott. I've heard more of Kate McDonald's name in the last 2 years than I've heard from Justin Scott.
Facts.
Absolute travesty. Travesty. 5-star defensive lineman goes to Miami to a sucky team for no reason. He doesn't even play. Just sitting down there, enjoying his time on the beach, I hope, because he sure ain't enjoying it on the field.
Right.
Does
Carson Beck make them that much better? Do
No.
they make them better at all?
They taking a
I
step
think Cam
back.
Ward was better than Carson Beck. Yeah.
Cam Ward was as good in the 4 years that he played at Washington State as he was when he went to Miami. He went to Miami for a year-long vacation.
Sure.
That's what he did, just to play another college football season, get some money, prepare for the NFL draft, and have vacation. Because
Miami is much better than Washington State.
Yeah, Carson Beck pretty much doing the same thing. You want me to trust the quarterback development from Mario Cristobal over Kirby Smart? Yeah, no, dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out on that. It's like Luke video straight.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think Cam Ward is a dominant player, and I think he has that dog in him. But he couldn't take Miami to where they need to go. Now, Carson Beck is not going to be able to do that same thing.
Antoine, I don't know if they ever will now. They just made the Natty in the 12-team era without it.
Yeah, that just fucked everything.
I don't know if they'll ever join a conference now. Unless the conferences nut up and instruct their ADs not to vote for Notre Dame to get in.
Yep, you have to force them.
How are we doing this where we are attributing automatic bids to teams for winning conference championships, and yet Notre Dame is still in consideration for that? How does that happen? How are they even still in consideration to get a first round bye if they don't play in a conference? Yeah, I don't think they'll ever. I don't think they'll ever.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so we talked ACC. Do we feel like anybody from the Big 12 is going to do anything? Colorado's probably going to take a hit.
Is Deion actually coming back? Is he actually going to be at Colorado at kickoff next season? And if he does, he's got a very interesting quarterback situation going on there with Caden Salter and Julian Lewis. How long does Caden Salter hold on to that starting job? You'd have to think that Julian Lewis being the heir apparent to Shador was the pitch to get him to flip from USC. So how long does Caden Salter, who's a good QB in his own right, hold on to that job?
That's a good question.
It's going to be interesting.
Is, are we even dealing with Prime? Is he going to be there?
Right.
And what does the rest of the team look like, too?
That's facts.
Well, okay, so we talked about Deion potentially joining the Raiders, but the Raiders just picked up Pete Carroll as their coach. So
who did the Dallas Cowboys pick up?
I'm seeing Dallas because
I don't think he wants Shador to play for the Raiders. Shador Sanders at the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, he'll take that.
For the youngsters in the chat, Deion did play for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I know him from.
Well,
I know he played for the Falcons too, but I'm just saying.
Some people might be so young they might forget the old
they like Falcons.
The
play for the Falcons.
Oh, Dallas promoted their OC to head coach.
They did? I didn't see that.
But that's what
Jay
Marion says.
Okay, I didn't know that position had been filled. Okay, so now we can scratch one of those.
Oh, Schottenheimer. Yeah, I did see that actually.
Okay, cool. So then scratch that part of the question off the list. Now that we know it's going to be Deion, this is the first quarterback he's coaching that isn't his son, at a collegiate level. There's a lot of prove it to that too. Now he's going to have a lot riding on his reputation as a quarterback guru. Now that it's not Shador behind center. How do y'all see that going?
It's going to be interesting because a lot of what he did was based around Shador having success, his sons having success, like not running the ball in late games and obvious run situations to kill the clock, coaching one-on-one type things. He would throw and still so Shador can get better stats. That's a better chance for the Heisman, and also to help Travis Hunter, his other son.
I was gonna say no Travis Hunter. So
exactly. So it's gonna be interesting if he can really coach. We're gonna find out this year.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, I do think that some of that, his situational play calling has to do with the faith that he has in his trenches. I think he knows as well as we do that he just doesn't have it there. He can't lean on his offensive line for any sustained amount of time, and he for damn sure can't expect his defensive line to cause havoc. So he's kind of stuck in this position where he always has to be aggressive to keep up, because otherwise he can't hold pat. I feel for that a little bit.
But he would do some egregious stuff. Like there's a minute left. They don't got timeout. It's third down, and he call a post or something. Yeah. Like, nah, I can't give you no pass on that, bro. Just hand the ball off. Yeah. If he loses 2 yards, who cares? It's about the clock, man. You know, so that's the type of stuff, you know. But it might be better that Shador and them dudes is gone, your sons, because that's who you really care about. Now let's see you care about the team is the most important thing, not my sons, but the team. So it might be good.
Yeah, him actually having the game plan around the strong points of his team now may make him a better coach.
Yeah.
He's also had this is going into year 3 now. So we've had multiple portal cycles, we've had multiple recruiting cycles. The trench play should improve. You've been saying that since before you got the job, that the line play needed to improve here, that you weren't going to have a chance to compete nationally until you improve the line. So now, you know, you've had a couple years now. Let's see that offensive line take another step. Let's see us be able to consistently get pressure with 4, you know, at least versus some of the lowly teams in the Big 12. They weren't able to do that versus anyone. Let's get pressure without blitzing as much, not put so much pressure on our back half to cover. Because like y'all said, ain't no Heisman winner back there no more. There's no player willing to play 150 snaps both ways, you know, holding down the defense in the back end. So
now at the same time, who else is going to lay claim to the Big 12 title? Because, you know, Arizona State doesn't have Cam Scatterbo anymore. Is it going to be Iowa State?
Man, we didn't even know that man's name until the playoffs started.
That's fair, but that's part of the reason they were Big 12 champs.
Yeah, about 15, 1600 or something in the regular season.
No, y'all right. I'm saying I think Arizona's success is more a program success than that of being carried by individuals. That's all I'm saying. I think they're if they've competed.
Still got that quarterback. What's his name? I can't think of it. Remind me of JJ though.
He's pretty good.
Steve Levis or something like that.
Levin. It's not Levis. It's Levin. Yeah.
Sam Levitt.
He's nice to be that young.
Cam Rising will be back at Utah for an 11th year of college football.
No way. Stop it. Is he really?
Yeah, he is.
Oh my God. He is my age.
But he will be there. He
has a family.
How is he getting all these years?
He keep getting injured. Remember, he ain't played in 2 seasons.
I thought you only got like 1 or maybe 2 medical.
I guess you can petition the NFL for the NFL.
You can keep getting the medical
more.
Cam Rising is being called Unk by his teammates now. Stop it.
Yeah.
So that's 4 years of eligibility, a COVID year, plus a red and a gray shirt to get to 7 years.
He in year 7?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! What? Like at first I was here for it because I felt like he had something to prove, and I thought Utah was going to do some things. At this point, brother.
I mean, it's always a chance. If you got Whittingham and you got a decent quarterback, they've got a chance. It's just I would like to see someone other than Cam Rising. I feel like they've had like at least 2 quarterbacks that they recruited as being Rising's replacement transfer out of there. You know,
the fact that you were able to see 2 other quarterbacks come in and be your replacement, and you're still there,
and they leave, right? And they leave.
Thought you was gonna replace me? Well, I ain't going nowhere. I was here before you, and I'm gonna be here
after you. That's crazy. According to this ESPN article, Cam Rising no longer on Utah's football roster. So,
what happened to that? I thought he was
retired.
I don't know. I'm trying to read through it. It just says he no longer appears to be on the roster.
He must have had a change of heart, or they went down and had to talk with him. Like, listen, man, we can't keep recruiting quarterbacks here if you keep beating them out and not letting them play.
It might have
We ain't
been
never gonna
something
get a
like-
quarterback.
You think it was
Rising
medical?
Rising has not publicly announced whether he intends to transfer or move on to the draft. The winter transfer window is closed, but Rising still could enter the portal in the spring window.
So he's not on the roster. He hasn't declared. Yeah, I think that was unwilling. I think that they told him, listen, no, no, we have to move on.
I'll take him.
Will you? At
I'll
Michigan?
take him. Over Mike, we got Mike. If we planning on starting somebody before, now you don't get to start all year, but
All right, okay.
for that first little 3-game stretch, you're just what I want. You're my guy.
But that's the problem with Cam Rising, right? He's going to be good enough to continue to start. Like
Yeah, I know.
you gonna have to pull a competent player if you gonna pull him, because he's not gonna be that bad unless he get
I
hurt.
know.
Unless he get
I
hurt.
know.
Y'all want to know what I heard?
I want that raised level. Now that's some experience. Now that's real.
That's
experience.
real experience. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Y'all want to know what I heard? I heard Cam Rising is going to enter the transfer portal, but he's waiting for the team that's going to also take his son. So he wants to play with his son next year. So he's going to enter the transfer portal.
I think he LeBron James. You think he LeBron James.
He's holding off. He wants to see who's going to take his son first. That's all. Who's going to recruit his son?
Damn,
You ain't
that's
right.
crazy. Cam Rising can't come back to Utah. Iowa, you better get on the phone. Iowa, Wisconsin, better get on the phone. Northwestern, if I was Northwestern, I'd be on the phone with Cam
Northwestern would be
Rising.
good. Yeah.
I think he fits
I mean,
Northwestern really well.
He's a good quarterback. He's just still here. So I mean, take
He said he
him.
can't be that good if he's still here.
Facts. But he's good enough to service a terrible team.
That's
Take
his
them
niche.
somewhere, maybe.
That's his niche. Some dudes aren't NFL guys like that, but in college, they're better than average quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But they're not an NFL starter or probably backup. It's more of a practice team guy.
Yeah, he's Van Wilder at this point.
Or you can practice team it, and maybe if you're a dog, special teams, and you're some type of gadget quarterback guy, whatever.
Any early Heisman candidates y'all got?
Arch.
Jeremiah Smith.
By name alone. Like the first 300-yard game he has, he's going to be the leader in the Heisman race. So,
that's for sure. Jeremiah Smith.
Who's his quarterback?
not a bad pick.
I don't know yet.
I think he'll be a big
quarterback battle.
preseason pick. He'll be a lot of people's preseason pick, and then whether or not the quarterback situation works out will dictate.
It's gonna be hard. It's hard to win it as a receiver.
A wide receiver, yeah. Ask Marv.
Smith won it in 2020. Was that he had like 20-some touchdowns?
Yeah, he had 20 touchdowns and went off in that national championship game. And I ain't never seen a wide receiver moving through players. It looked like y'all was on pause. Shit was crazy. Anywho, I will say he put it back on his show.
Just talking about 2019. Let's be recent.
It's a coping belt. It's like
Coping belt is crazy. Anyway,
I will say dark horse and also a personal pick. Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes is going to get a lot of work at Michigan, catching the ball and running it.
I like it.
Behind a good offensive line. And then if I'm just kind of veering out on college football at large, what about?
I can't just think of nobody high profile enough.
Yeah, we gave Arch Manning one. I can't give SEC too much credit. I was going to say Gunner.
I mean, Arch is the obvious pick, honestly, because we've been waiting for him.
Trying to think of whoa.
Appreciate you, brother.
Whoa. John Mateer at Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah. And we gotta see him.
John Mateer at Oklahoma. That's gonna be
we're gonna mess them stats up. You hear me, Josh? We're gonna mess them numbers up. You hear me?
Hey, go ahead. Do it.
He's a good runner too. We're gonna have to get him on the ground. We're gonna have to get John Mateer on the ground.
You might have to come blitzing off the bus, Josh. You hear me?
Only if he
that's Oklahoma.
Do
what you got to do against them.
Hear me?
I will say Jordan Marshall if he somehow beats out Justice Haynes in the fall. If
So
he's
whoever
gonna
is
start,
your top running back.
It's
yeah,
gonna be interesting to see the carry distribution between them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to
right
see what
now-
you did this year, Alfred.
right now I would say probably all three guys are going to get some burn to start. It'll probably be Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes get the bulk load, and then we need short yardage and goal line. We'll go to Ben Hall, and then from there they'll kind of start divvying out who needs more, who deserves more. I think Justice Haynes has the best chance because he's most experienced, number one, and he can do the most on the field right now, as it seems. But there's also an opportunity for Jordan Marshall to be that guy too. So
You guys are going to see Oklahoma. I forgot they had Andrew Anthony. What do you feel about that?
he
Good
transferred.
Old
He
He
went to
transferred
Kentucky.
again?
Yeah, he went to
Oh
Kentucky.
my God, Andrew Anthony.
That's why I be saying, man, like it hurts when we lose these wide receivers sometimes. But then when I see him go out and they don't do shit, like I seen Darius Clemens, he had 100 yards in the bowl game, and then I look up his season stats, he got 200 yards.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh well, okay.
he didn't do like anything this
He
year.
didn't do nothing. And Andreo got hurt last year. This year it was so, but he's on the move again. So
Yeah.
I'm not too hurt by it.
Okay.
Carmelo English is playing D2 ball.
No,
So-
no.
Yikes.
That's a
Yikes.
good one though. What's he say? Dante Moore, he might in that offense. You never know. He might put up the numbers to be in there.
Dante Moore is a possibility. It's another prove it moment, right? The last time we saw Dante Moore, he wasn't that high octane quarterback we expected him to be. So 2 years watching, sitting behind guys. Let's see what got it.
And he has no Tez Johnson, no Trayshawn Holden. Fuck Trayshawn Holden, by the way.
He got Evan Stewart still though, and he's
He does
got
have Evan Stewart.
some of the best tight ends in the country as well. So he got targets.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know that offensive quarterback friendly. So
So maybe they'll be the fourth team in the Big Ten. You know what? Penn State. I know Penn State has an easy schedule. Yeah. What's Oregon's schedule? Do we know who they got?
they got Oregon, they got Penn State, and I don't know.
And so, right.
They don't play us.
Right. I'm gonna run through it. Okay, they got Montana State, Oklahoma State, Northwestern, Oregon State, Penn State, Indiana, Rutgers, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, Washington.
And again, the problem that I have with that is that Oregon is too talented to falter in about 80% of that schedule. It's Penn State or they're going undefeated again next year. And so we'll have 2 straight years of Oregon undefeated regular seasons, and they will have proven shit because once you face light competition in the postseason, we see where that comes. You were struggling to beat Penn State. That probably should have been the canary in the coal mine. The fact that they had so much trouble throwing around Penn State in the Big Ten championship probably should have raised some alarm bells. It's like we're kind of working backwards here. We were the most efficient offense in the country a couple weeks ago, and then now we getting shut down by Penn State, which is an admirable defense, but I don't think the secondary was equipped to really stop Oregon the way that they got shut down. So that's
I think
that Oregon defense is gonna be Achilles heel. He got to get that fixed. He ain't gonna win a championship with that.
Facts.
You think he changes guys? You think he goes with a different system? Because I don't think that's what Georgia was running. They weren't running that. He goes into like 3-3-5 a lot. Like they go with a lot of 3-down linemen.
To play that and play it well, you got to have dogs, and they better be flying around to get away with it.
Yeah,
and then it's still hard.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like we did say Aller's name, but
he ain't got a chance of being in no Heisman.
No. Oh, for the Heisman? No. No.
Yeah, when we said Heisman favorites, he definitely didn't come up.
I thought we mentioned him during the Penn State shit. Yeah, no. Heisman? No.
I want Julian Sand.
Julian Sand or St. Clair or Julian Sand. Julian Sand is going to be in the Heisman conversation? That is lofty. It's very lofty.
You guys. You believe
that's why I think it's easy to throw Jeremiah Smith in that situation because he's already
thank you.
a favorite of a lot of people.
Like if if Julian Sand is that good this season, then Jeremiah Smith should be the Heisman candidate, not Julian Sand. Right? If he's that good, it's because he's throwing the ball to Jeremiah Smith a lot.
We'll take both. We'll take both.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the first time Ohio State had two finalists up there. Unfortunately, they lost that year, but still.
Has the transfer portal closed yet? This
Yeah,
first one
for the winter portal. Yep.
So it has. So who everybody has. Now you're gonna see who comes out of this second one, the spring one, and then we're gonna have what we have. You know, teams that didn't get we felt it last year, Marcus. You know, we didn't get as many guys as we wanted. We didn't get that quarterback and stuff. This year what did we get, like 10 players already?
Yeah. And it's even worse this year because the playoffs extended so much longer. I don't really begrudge Ohio State's portal class because we know that pain of still playing in the postseason, trying to game plan, but also at the same time trying to get guys in for next year's roster. It's got to be a mad scrum. So
exactly. Put this Garrison comment up here real quick.
Which one? This one?
That's a fact. The spring portal is garbage. You're not going to get much out of that.
It's not as deep. You're still going to get some talented guys in the spring. It's just not going to be as many of them.
It's like
the summer portal, the one right before the season starts, is the one that's garbage. If you're still looking for guys at that point, it's over.
It's like the spring portal. Those guys aren't jumping like in the portal. Those guys are, I'm going to Kentucky. I'm leaving Michigan, going to Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not in the portal. I'm gone. I know exactly where I'm going. This is why, so I guess if you can have your bag man or the agents and do all that, but it's not like you get to see the free agents list of guys in the portal and pick. No, it's more backdoor deals, agents, and that
tampering.
That's the word, tampering. The deal is done and he's gone. He ain't in the portal. Boy, I'm on the way to my next team.
Right.
I left practice for Michigan on Friday. Saturday, I'm in Kentucky.
I'm on a whole other team.
And that only happens because you knew you weren't the guy who was starting.
True.
Yeah, but you got to have it. I wouldn't even say that. Marcus, do you think DJ Waller was going to play?
So I think what end up being the decision maker is how much he played in the spring game. I think he was probably on the fence, and once it seemed like Jair and Miles Pollard were clearly ahead of him, it stopped being a competition for him. It stopped being a competition. He was like, well, shit, Kentucky paying me. Now, would he have ended up getting some burn last year? Absolutely. Because we saw how the season played out. They went through all of summer, all of fall, and they showed who could actually play. I don't think you can actually know whether or not you're going to play in the spring. But since these portals have been set up like this, and guys are so quick to essentially, I hate to say it, give up. That's what it's become, right? If you don't tell me early on enough that I'm going to be the guy, then I'm going to go to somebody who is telling me that.
Doesn't the spring portal happen? Does it happen after the spring games or no?
It's after, at least after Michigan.
After most of them, yes.
I felt like I remember some guys who weren't playing in the spring game. And
if you have a late spring game, then you're kind of screwed. But
yeah, like I was looking at DJ Waller, because he had a good spring game.
Yeah, he did.
And like a week later, he was like straight to Kentucky.
But yeah, even at that, we couldn't guarantee him that he was going to play over all the guys that we played. We had gotten Amir Hall. They got that transfer from UNLV. Obviously, Jair Hill, Will Johnson. All those guys are still there. So it's like, I played well, but you're also not telling me that I'm one of the starters. You're not telling me I'm about to stand next to Will.
That's true.
I'm going to be on the field for sure at Kentucky.
And it's a long, and I hate it because it's spring is so far from the season.
It's so far. Yeah, you have no idea how that could have played out. No clue.
Yeah. So I don't know. We got a lot of time to make some offseason changes, but at least for us, it's kind of cemented.
Oh, Antoine, I am hoping that Kentucky is good enough to make the playoffs next year and Michigan meets them. I hope. either Michigan either Kentucky or Miami. I want to see one of those two teams in the playoff early, first round, home game, big house going crazy so we can put up 60 points on them. So we score 60 on them so we can show them how to play real football. So we can show all the players that they poached from our recruiting classes or transfer classes or our targets that we were going for in recruiting classes. So we can just prove it once and for all that these two things are not the same. And you made a colossal mistake.
Sure.
Tired of it. Collins answering and Pong. That boy on his third college. You on your third college.
Let it go. Collins is forever.
I'll never let it go. We had a chance to have 2 6-6-6-7 book edge ends. Would have been crazy. We still have a chance for that now, even with, Luger Paye and some of the other guys on the roster. But damn, both of them guys on opposite sides of each other. Oh my God.
Yikes.
The fear you would have struck into opposing offenses. But no, you want to spend all your NIL money and not play.
Yeah. Well, all right. So the season's over. Even though it feels like the spring games are literally right around the corner. But any ideas on what content that people will get in the off season? Should we discuss that, since obviously we don't want this channel to die in the off season?
No, we'll definitely be here. We got some ideas of some off-season content we're gonna roll out. May not be as regular, but definitely going to be keeping up enough. We want to be able to keep the growth going and have this thing a little bit bigger by the time we start out next season, right? We should be well over 1,000 subs and monetized by then. So definitely appreciate everything that was given, all the support that was shown this season.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all for sure. All the help that we received from Johnny Oden and Maze Madman and Boxing Maniac and Readings by Dom and
Garrison.
Yeah, everybody who showed us some love, man. We definitely appreciate y'all.
Crazy. That look is insane. Gotta shout out Garrison. Anyway,
boy, Garrison. Garrison tomorrow. I'm having this. We're gonna do the live tomorrow, 12 o'clock. Anybody that wants to come on, join. But I'm gonna give Garrison his chance because I kind of
y'all make sure y'all tune into that one. Definitely
I
tune
went
in.
off. So I will give him his chance, I will give him his chance to rebuttal what I said or whatever. He joins anyway, but
We got a crystal ball elsewhere for Ty Haywood.
he said I'll be there 11:59.
11:59 is crazy.
I hope not. I hope not. That was a lot of time and energy expended on homeboy. So, and for the teams that we're competing with, Florida State and Texas Tech, if you want to play for either one of those teams, I don't want you to play for Michigan. So,
yikes. But yeah, no, I think we'll definitely be talking about portal goings on. We'll talk about the spring games. Obviously, both of us got NFL draft prospects, so we probably should talk about that. So the channel will still be doing quite a few things in the off season. So make sure y'all stay locked and subscribe. If you haven't already, like the live stream, like the video and all that good stuff. Any other parting thoughts or anything like that? Appreciate you. Any other parting thoughts, fellas?
that's it for me, man. Appreciate y'all. See you when we see you.
Go 2 hours long. Go Bucks. Go champs. Champs, baby. Can we get that video one more time? Where's the video? All right, that's enough. That was anyway. On that note, everybody, appreciate y'all. We are out.
Back on screen after that. I thought he was just gonna turn it off.
No, unless you want to see it again.
No,
I'm just kidding. Anyway, we out on that note, y'all.
Bye.